Here's a couple-minute video on how to make a wood boiler and do it cheap. I got about $700 in mine. The door here is a 2 foot. You got a switch here to turn the fan off. And here's the fan. Slap the valve on it. You can close the air down. You leave it wide open and you'll see your wood pretty quick. But shut it off a little bit, turn the fan off. You can control your own air how you like it. The door, it's 2 foot, a 2 foot. That's what size the firebox is. About 4.5 inches thick. The concrete that's in it, you have to use fire clay. Fire clay, equal parts fire clay, sand, and mortar. You've got to use fire clay. If not, it'll just crack and fall apart. There's the inlet for my fan. The firebox, like I said, is 2 foot wide, 2 foot tall, 3 foot deep. It'll burn wood for about 13-14 hours. I've got wet wood and dry wood in there. That makes it last even longer. My handle here is just a small setup, you know. The fan I got off Amazon, it's a recirculation fan, squirrel cage fan. It's like 60 bucks. I just got 10 around it, but all it is a 1,000-gallon tank. 1,000 gallons. It's I've got pipe coming off the bottom. That's the return for my heat exchanger, and then I got the pipe there. This is a taco pump. It's a hot water recirculator. It's meant for hot water. You have to use a hot water pump. Well, I always assume you do anyways. But that one's made by Taco. Taylor, the manufacturer that makes these, uses Taco, so I figure if they use Taco, I'm going to use Taco. This is just some insulation I got from Lowe's. It's wrapped all the way around. You can see the steam coming out right there. It's got an exhaust on it right there. Those lines right there, the red one back there, that furthest short one that you see, is going to the house. It's a 60-foot copper coil pipe inside of it, and then that's going back to the house with hot water, and then this other one here is coming in from the house with cold water. I know it's red, but that's all I had. So it comes up this close one here, and then this right here is just so I can top the tank off when I need to. There's a valve right here. Anyway, that's hot water. That's the supply hot water for the house. It has to be separate because the water that's inside the tank, you have to put an anti-corrosive stuff in it to keep it from rusting, and you don't want that to mix with your drinking water, so you got to use something solid. And I use one solid 60-foot copper coil pipe. I've got everything insulated, which really I don't have to worry about this freezing because it's got a supply of hot water going through it all the time. But I don't want to lose any heat either. And there's my fresh water return. It goes underneath the plastic there and comes back out. This is just plastic. I think it's like 4 mil I got from Lowe's. Just keep the insulation where it's supposed to be at. This is a 1,000-gallon tank. The firebox is takes up about 100 gallons almost. So it's like 910 gallons of hot water, and it's coming out pretty warm. That pipe right there is a 7-inch pipe that I found laying around. It just goes from there straight through the tank into the back of the firebox. You can cut the back of the tank off if you want, but you got to weld all the way back around, all the way, and I did that, and I wish I hadn't have. But you know, I'm a big guy, but I can fit through a 2 foot by 2 foot square to do all my work on the inside. So that's what I recommend that y'all do. But that pump right there came from Amazon. The fan on the front came from Amazon. And all my PEX fittings, I bought all my PEX fittings from Lowe's. But I found a supply store after I bought everything and put everything in. I needed a few extra pieces. I found a supply store that actually had stuff for a whole lot cheaper. Kind of surprising. But I just had some old tin laying around, and I just kind of closed it in. I got to paint it red, but don't really have too many specs on it. You can pretty much do it how you want to do it. I've got an insulation here between the tin and the tank. Like I said, you can do it however you like to do it. Excuse me. I did use fire block foam. It does not work. It says fire block foam. I assumed that it was fireproof, but it's not. I put it around the door, and you can see here on the sides where fire doesn't roll out the sides, it's still intact, but as where the fire comes out the top, it hits it and causes it to kind of erode away. The next thing I'm going to use is fire barrier sealant. I know this stuff is, you can buy this at Lowe's. It's expensive, but it works. I know it works because I used it in my fireplace. So that's my next part. But anyway, you buy the sand mixture and all that stuff you have to go to a block store for that, like a cinder block place. They didn't have it at Lowe's or Home Depot. I called them and asked them. They said they didn't have it. But anyway, that's what it is. If y'all have any questions, leave a message, and I'll check back with it and see what I can do about answering them the best I can. That's my temperature gauge. It's made by Accurite. It's wireless, so I can check the temperature in the house if I wanted to. It works pretty good. I put batteries in it, and it's been out here for about 2 weeks, and it's still going strong. So I figure if I have to change the batteries once or twice in a year, then I'll be fine with that. It's just running inside the tank. Right now it's at 152 degrees. I've got the alarm set at 185. If it gets higher than that, it'll start beeping and let me know. You really don't want it much higher than that. I don't know why, but I mean, you really don't need it that high. 150 degrees, 160 degrees is plenty hot for heat. I've got all my lines buried about 12 inches underground. The frost line here in North Carolina is not that bad, so I don't have to go 18 to 24 inches. But the lines are dug and buried all the way over to a heat exchanger that is inside of my ductwork. So that has a steady supply of hot water going through it. And whenever the fan comes on for heat, it's just the fan. There's no heat pump. The heat pump don't come on. The reversing valves don't engage. None of that turns on. The only thing that comes on is the fan. And it blows air through the heat exchanger that way into the house, and it comes out of the vents in there, and it's unbelievably warm. It might be a little dry, but it ain't no drier than a heat pump. So, but anyway, my light bill normally runs about $350 to $380 a month in the winter time, and with that setup over there and this just heat exchanger with just the fan running inside of here, it'll bring it down to about 100 to 110 a month. And all you got to do is add wood to it. Anyway, if y'all have any questions, let me know.